Hey everybody, I'm so sorry. My big camera was not agreeing with me and it would not turn on. So I had to fuss with it and I finally got it going. So I am, oh my gosh, I think this is like the latest I've started FabFit Friday in a while, 8 minutes after the hour. I'm so sorry. Um, so today I want to work on my, hey Mary, welcome. Sorry I'm late. I had a technical issue with my my big camera was not connecting. Oh, yeah, woo. See, this is the kind of thing I'm hoping to wear with like the black wool pants, black wool I got for pants from Fabric Mart. So I figure if I make a like a basic pair of pants, I'll be able to pair it with color, and then I'll make some darker tops that I can pair with color at the bottom. That's going to be my plan. I can't have color all over my body. That would freak me out. So, but I do love this top. I'm pleased with it. And every time I put it on, it makes me happy. So yay. I'm working with my cashmere linen cotton blend fabric that I got from Metro Textiles last summer at the ASG conference. I cut out the pants and I'm prepping the front pockets, and I thought I would show you a few things about pockets after fitting, etc., etc. Hey, Deborah Williams, welcome from SoCal. Oh, I'm so sad about SoCal. I used to get to go there once a year with Stitches events, and then Stitches went out of business abruptly, so I haven't been to California in a while now. But I hope you're enjoying the weather there, and welcome. This is a rayon jersey. And actually, the fun story about this fabric is it was just a random piece that I got when I went down to Threads Magazine's offices to help them clean out some things after they were sold. And so this was one of the pieces of fabric that I took from their fabric drawers, and none of it was the full width of the fabric. So when I was cutting it out, I had to be really careful with the pieces. And actually, these are lined. These two center front pieces are lined right here. And I almost ran out of room because I also lined the cap sleeve. So it was one of those things where I squished out the fabric from this. It was like a big random scrap, and then it turned out much better than I thought it would. So I like the crisscross. So see, the crisscross goes to here, and then it catches into the seam right here. Woo! Deborah says it's hot, 3 digits. That is hot. I'm crying because my pool is freezing. I went floating in it a couple days ago when it was hot here, and the water is getting really cold, so I'm probably going to close it soon. Oh, hey, Leanne, welcome. Oh, it's hot, and Nashville's 102. Whew, that's steamy. And Jennifer's here. Hey, Jennifer. So, I'm excited about my October pants fitting workshop, and Leanne was in the one in August. And if you want to see what she thought about the class, she posted a review on my website, and I thought it'd be fun today to review some things about front pockets after you do fitting, and this might be a good reminder for anyone who's fitting pants, what to do with the small pieces after you fit, and then how to get them to agree with your fitting. And then also I'm going to give you some construction tips. Hey Carla, welcome. It's good to see you too. Thank you for joining. So speaking of which, before I get going any farther, I just want to tell everybody I sent my newsletter out this morning for August, and there are some spaces in the October workshop, and I also added 2 workshops to my September calendar. The 3rd Saturday of September will be a yoga pants class, a 4-hour Zoom class. And I value price that one. So that one's on a good like a good price, $50, and you get a coupon code for 25% off patterns and workbooks if you sign up for a Zoom class. So there's yoga pants on the third weekend in September, and the last weekend in September I am doing efficient workflow for bodice fitting Zoom class, and that's going to be 2 6-hour classes. So instead of having 3 4-hour classes across 3 weeks, I'm doing it on one weekend, the last weekend in September, Saturday and Sunday for 6 hours from noon to 6. So those are Zoom classes that you can get a 25% off coupon code for any patterns and workbooks in my store for registering. That way, if you want to use one of my patterns or get the yoga pants for the yoga pants class, you can get 25% off. And then I have a few Zoom classes in there that I'm doing with pattern review as well. So the newsletter is out now, and I put a link to my upcoming workshop page in the description below. Okay, so let me just back up here. Oh, Leanne said that was the best class I've ever been to. Thank you so much, Leanne. I really, really appreciate that, and I'm glad that that was your experience in the pants fitting class. Carol says cashmere linen sounds great. Don't you think rayon is hot? I love your program. Do I think rayon is hot? Rayon is actually breathable because it's, you know, it's like a pulp natural fiber. So I find it very cool to wear. This top, because Deborah's asking me, this is my original tee pattern, and I did a new neckline during a FabFit Friday a couple months ago. So if you search back in my lives, you'll find where I did this new neckline for my tee pattern. My original tee pattern. It comes in women's and misses sizes. So it's the tee with a new neckline that I did from a FabFit Friday. And I also made little cap sleeves. And I have a tutorial on my channel that shows you how to take a short sleeve and draft it into a cap sleeve. And then I lined it. So this is a really fun pattern to work with because there's so many things you can do with it. It was my first pattern I ever designed, and I will tell you it continues to be one of my most popular patterns. So it is a fun pattern. I've even made it into a maxi dress, so you can get a lot of mileage out of this one. Tana says, hey, y'all, glad you're feeling better. Yes, well, fun fact, I went to bed after I got off FabFit Friday last week because I really wasn't feeling hot. But I woke up Saturday morning 100% better. And actually, I did take a COVID test just to be safe. And I did not have, that came back negative. But I really felt back to speed on Saturday. So I don't know what that was about. But it was like a 24-hour cootie that I had. But I'm good now. All right, so let's get into what we're doing today. This was the camera that was giving me the trouble why I was late starting today, because it wouldn't turn on, which I love when I have technical difficulties. All right, so the first thing I want to do is show you something here. So this is the pattern. Oops. Hold on. This is the front of the pattern that I cut out these pants out of. And I'm just going to make it a little less bright so we're not frightening anybody's eyeballs. There, I think that's better. And you can see here, I did some fitting, right? And this green line is where the waist ended up being after I fit this pattern. So it wasn't as high as the red pair. This is the pattern I used to make my red linen pants, if you've seen me in those. So I fit the leg, and I lowered the rise a little bit. Oh, Carla says there's a bug going around. Dodged it so far. Yep. Please be careful out there, everyone. I got some mosquito bites on my arm right here, and I started wigging out about that because of all of the Eastern equine encephalitis running around now. So hopefully we'll get a cold snap and all the cooties will die down. I don't know. But getting back to this, how do I know how to fix my pocket pieces if I've changed my pattern this dramatically. This green line is my new waist. Well, how did I get that green line on there? Well, what I did was I took after I did my fitting, I cut off the extra on the top of the leg, and then I put the fabric back on the pattern like this. So you can see what I did here was I lined up the pattern. I lined up the leg after I cut off the extra from fitting. So when I fit this leg, I lowered the rise because it was higher. So I trimmed it to where I marked it using my single leg muslin and my separate waistband. And I finished the edge. Then I laid it on here and I just drew this line across. Okay. Now this was still connected. So for example, I did not cut off that little wedge yet. Okay. It was just a straight all the way. So that's how I got the top part of the pocket. Then after I defined the top of the waist, and the side seam stayed the same, I didn't have to adjust the side seam. So then what I did was I basically just marked the position of the front opening, and then I designed the lower section of the front pocket bag and front pocket facing, and then also the fly pieces. Okay, so I redesigned all of that and I drew it right on, and then I traced them. So here is my pocket bag. So you can see I traced that, and then, you know, of course the trick is not to lose any of these pieces. That's the big trick. And then here is my front pocket facing, right? So I just trace that piece, I trace this piece, and I also trace the little fabric facing, which is this little part here to hide the view of the lining fabric. And I don't know where that, oh, here it is. All right, so here's this little piece right here. Okay, so you can see I traced all the individual pieces right on my adjusted leg. So if anybody's wondering how to, you know, get your pockets to agree with your fitted pattern, I basically just draw them on and then trace them off. Because if I know what real estate I have, then I can just copy them. But notice I didn't cut off the extra because sometime in the future I might want a higher rise pants. So I just mark the new lower waist on here, and I have all this information. Now next time I make a pair of linen pants or similar fabric, I can just cut it off here after, you know what I mean? I can transfer these things to the fabric for my next pair. So that's the first thing I did. Now the second thing I did was after I designed the front pocket, I then put the front facing onto the front leg, and I cut off the fabric. So you can see here, I use this piece to trim this triangle off after I trace them all off. All right, and then here is the last important part. If you're going to make a front slash pocket, you want to stabilize the edge with stay tape, and you don't just put the stay tape on the edge like this, okay? Because the minute you cut this, it can grow, and if it grows, it'll gape out when you're wearing it. So what I did was I used the actual pattern piece to cut myself 2 pieces of stay tape that are the length of the paper pattern from here to here, and then I fuse them onto the wrong sides of the front pocket openings. Now I'm hoping when I sew these together, I'm going to have a front pocket that doesn't gape away from my body. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. But here's the cool thing about my Sorcha Classic Slim trousers. The entire front pocket is constructed before it's sewn onto the front leg. So I just want to show you what I have started here, and notice I'm going to pin all my pocket pieces together, and I'm actually going to pin them right onto this front leg so I don't lose them, and then I can put them back in my vinyl storage bag later. But that, I just wanted to give you some of those tips for working with a front slash pocket. So now I'm just going to put my legs over here for a second, and I'm going to get out all my pocket pieces. And I kind of want to explain what's going on here. I'm going to give them another iron. All right, so I'm just going to give them another iron here. Now, I've discussed this before. I really hope the starch, I hope the starch stains disappear. But if they don't, it'll be like I have a, you know, a two-tone pocket bag. No one's going to see that but me. The other thing I'm going to do here is this little edge on the pocket bag right here. This gets folded under or over this amount. So I'm going to go ahead and press this into position. And this will be top stitched onto the front pocket facing. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just press this under the 3/8 of an inch. And I did a little starch so it would be easier to work with this silk because it's kind of shifting around. But then when I'm wearing them, they're going to be really cozy because that'll be nice and soft on my front leg. So this is what the pocket bag looks like when it's completely constructed. You can see that I sewed the fashion fabric facing on, and I want you to notice that I clean finished this inside edge using a 3-thread stitch. Let me just make it a little brighter so you can see. Make it really sharp. So there's a 3-thread right there, and notice how nice and flat it is. Like, you want to make sure when you sew on these, when you sew on these fashion fabric facings, you want to make sure they're laying completely flat so it's not bubbling or being bulky. All right, so you want to be careful when you sew it on. So I sewed it here, and then I just basted it around the edge to hold it. So there's one, and here's my other. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a press. I keep throwing these around in piles. That's why they get all wrinkled. So let me just give this a nice press. Now this one has a little bit of a, I mean, it's not 100% flat. If you look at it from the silk side, I had to steam it down, but I mean, I think it's pretty flat. But you just don't want it bubbly and puckery like this in here because that may show through. So this is going to protect the view from the slash pocket from being visible when you're wearing your pants. And then again, I'm going to press this edge up to the same side as this because this is going to be the inside of the pocket bag. So I'm just going to press this 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so now my entire pocket pieces are now prepped, and the last thing we're going to do to sew them together is a little French seam to finish the bottom edge. Alternatively, you could use a serged, like a 3-thread serger stitch to finish the pocket. But basically the way this is going to go together, let me just hold it down for a little bit more. I want to get a nice crease going here. Okay. All right, so the way this pocket is going to go together, okay, it's going to be like this. And then this piece is going to go on like this. Well, we're going to sew it. All right, let me just give this more press here. Let me just press this. All right, so this is this piece. Where's my other piece? My other piece is right here. I'm just getting them all nice and pressed here. This piece got a little traumatized. What is going on here? Oh, like this, sorry. Oh, like this. Okay, hold on one second here. Let me just, I got a little boo-boo on there. I don't know. I hope that comes out. All right. This piece looks a little haggard. Let's give it a little press here. All right, so I've got all my pieces pressed. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the instructions, because one of the things that I really pride myself on is having really good instructions. So I just want to show you in here that every step of my pattern has illustrations that show what's going on. So you can see here, this is the pocket bag with the fashion facing top stitched on. So what we're looking at there is this piece right here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the facing piece and we're going to line it up so that it's underneath the bag like this. And if you'll notice my illustrations here, the white paper or the white portion of the illustration is the right side of the fabric. So you can see the right side of the fabric is face up on this piece here. This is the right side of the front pocket facing. Whoops. Oh, Jan, I'm sorry about that. I normally put my ads on after I'm done being live. I apologize for that. Sorry. I'll fix it for the next time. Okay, so basically this goes on like this. So what you should see here is you're lining up the curved edge of the bottom of the pocket pieces. Okay, and over here the waist should obviously match, and I think because I'm using silk and I just want to hold everything together, I'm going to use some clips just to hold it in a few places. But basically you can see here, if I clip together, I'm going to clip it together at the actual side seam edge right here. Then I'm going to just make sure everything is matching all the way around the bottom edge like this. And I'm just going to slide these clips in to hold it all nice and even like this. All right, so that's where we're going to sew. We're going to sew this bottom edge all the way to here. Okay, that's going to be the first step. And I am going to make sure this is laying nice and straight. I'm going to put some clips up here, and then I'm going to turn it around and check it and make sure everything looks okay from this side as well. Because what we should see on this side is the wrong side of the front pocket opening is right here. All right, so that's what we should see on this side over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pin both of my pockets like that. I'm going to just get them both on together. So again, this piece is going to go first, like this. And then this piece is going to come on second, like this. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry, this is facing like this. Sorry. And then this is going to go like this. So again, I'm lining up that bottom edge. And then I am going to just make sure this is all matching, because these bottom edges match together. I'm just going to make sure everything is laying perfect and nice. Oops. Okay. All right, and then we're going to sew. Let's put one more. Just want to make sure everything is laying nice and flat. I'm going to put one more right here. Okay, let's turn it around to make sure everything is laying nice and flat this way. Sometimes when you work with clips, you have to check both sides to make sure everything's laying nice and flat, but that looks good. Let me just make sure this is laying nice and flat. All right, so I'm happy with that. Everything's laying nice and flat. I am going to put my thing away. I'm going to grab my machine. And then I'm going to plug it in and we're going to sew these pockets. All right, let me see if I can get a little bit of a better view. Okay, let's see. All right. Let me just get right in there so you can see. Let me make sure. Sometimes if I put a thing here, then I can see if I'm, make it a little less, make it sharp, sharp, sharp. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to sew these pocket bags together. And like I said, we're going to start over here. And essentially, I'm just going to stitch. I'm going to put a pin here to hold this. I am going to stitch like, I don't know, 1/4 inch away. And as I go, I'm literally just going to be stitching 1/4 inch away from the edge of my pocket pieces. I mean the bottom edge of the pocket bags. And it's slippery, so I'm literally just gonna, go a little at a time here. Now I am using a machine that has a built-in walking foot, which I think is helping feed the top layer of fabric at the same rate of speed as the feed dogs are, pulling the bottom layer. So that's helping me with the slippery fabric. Here, I just want to make sure I keep that laying flat. And then I'm just going to keep stitching here all the way to the end. Like that. Okay, so that's how it looks. Okay, I just stitched all the way around. Now I'm going to do the other one. From the other one, I'm going to start on this side because I want to go in that same direction. And again, I'm just going to put one pin right here to hold it until I get started. Okay. Taking my little clips out as I come to them. Now I'm coming to where it's folded under. Okay, let me just stop here. Vicky is asking, why does it look like there is a piece missing behind the gray triangle? And then what pattern am I using? This is my Sorcha Classic Slim Trouser pattern. And the way the front pockets are made, you actually construct the whole pocket bag before you attach it to the front opening of the leg. I'll show you that in a minute. And I'll show you the gray triangle. I'll show you everything about that in 1 minute. Right now, I want to make sure that this stays put in that direction. And actually, I don't trust it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my little favorite sewing tools, Scotch tape, and I'm literally just going to tape that so it's down in the direction I want it to go, because it's going in the opposite direction of what I'm sewing. And then when I sew over it, I can be safe that it doesn't flip. I should have Scotch taped it before I started. All right, let's look at these. All right, so see how the Scotch tape holds it down? And what we're going to do now is I'm just tearing off this little Scotch tape, and then I am going to use my rotary cutter. Well, actually, I'll use my little snip right at the end here where this folded edge is. I'm just going to clip that, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm clipping to the stitching there. And then I'm going to also trim really close, like 1/8 of an inch away from the stitching here, because we're going to turn it inside out, or right side out. So I'm just going to get rid of some of the bulk here by trimming it like that. Oops. So see how I trimmed it really close? Let me show you again. So on this one, whoa, on this one, I totally missed some of my pocket bag. So I got to fix that. All right, so if that happens, I think the easiest tool for me to use in my little seam ripper arsenal, because I've got an opening here. See how I have an, let me lift this up now. Okay, so see how I have a little opening here where I missed the 2 pieces? I'm just going to go like this with this Kai seam remover. And this is silk fabric. Watch how nice I can open up this seam without stressing myself out. Just going to get in there and just give it a little niggle, and I'll be able to undo it enough. Oh, I think it happened because, see, I have some cuts on the end here. I was close to another piece. So that's why I think I went off track. But basically, I'm just going to take this out a little bit using my Kai seam remover, which I really like because it's less likely I'm going to make a hole in it. All right, so see how I took that out. So now let me just, since the clips didn't seem to be a fabulous idea here, I'm just going to use some pins to hold it. All right, so then let me just go back and fix that. So in my newsletter, I talked about how I'm live on Fridays for FabFit Friday, and I said it's really real because I try things and I do things, and sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. And here is a classic Jennifer Boo Boo, but I'm just showing you how I'm going to fix it here. Oh, of course. Now my machine wants to be a pain. It's not threaded right on top. Let me just fix that. So if you ever hear a loud noise like that, don't try to keep sewing, because chances are you've become unthreaded or something bad happened, and if you keep sewing, it's not going to fix itself 99 times out of 100. You're just going to make it worse. So, all right. Now we're threaded again. Let me just fix this. Oh, hey, Diane. Oh, Vicky, I'm sorry you couldn't see the seam remover. I'm sorry. I'll show you it again in a minute. All right, so I'm just going to sew this and catch both the layers this time. There we go. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to oh, Victoria says, never thought of using Scotch tape to keep those ornery seams, dealing with errands and getting tire fixed, sewing all day tomorrow. Yay, get your Scotch tape revved up. All right, so again, I'm going to clip right here, right next to this fold, to the stitching line, and then I'm going to trim close to my stitching to make it about 1/8 of an inch. And really, I almost don't even have to trim, because this is going to be on the inside of the pocket and you're not going to even know it's there really, but just to make it a little less bulky and a little nicer, I'm just trimming that. Not on this side of the clip though. You don't want to trim this side of the clip, just the bottom of the pocket bag, you know, from here to here. Because the next step is we are going to turn it to the right side and we're going to press it into position. Everything is going to be nice and clean and organized now. So let me just put my machine down for a second. Get my pressing thing. Okay, so I'm going to use, I don't know, if you have a little thin wood bodkin or something that you can use to give this a little bit of a, like, I'm just going to kind of encourage this to go, you know, to turn. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it. Now, of course, I'm working with this fussy fabric here, so, and what's going to happen is at this very top edge, I'm going to turn the part where I clip the seam. That's turning to this side. So this is the side that's going to be against, let's look at it this way for a second. So this side right here is what's going to be against my body, or no, I'm sorry, against the pants. Okay, so this is the front pocket opening right here. Okay, front pocket opening. This is going to be between the pants and the right side of the pants. This is going to be on the wrong side of the pant. So as I press, I am going to, oh, I didn't catch this either. Ugh. All right, I'll fix that in a minute. But basically, when I press this, oh, I have to fix it. Let me do this one. All right, let's hope that this one is right. Okay, hold on. Let me turn this one. Yeah, this one is all sewn. I caught everything here. Let me work on this one. So as I press this, okay, from this side, I want to see the turn of the pocket bag on this side. So what I'm looking for is, see how I can see the turn of the fabric, because this is going to be the side. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the side. All right, so I want to see the turn of the fabric, so when it's on the right side, or the side that's against my skin, the little seam for the bottom of this pocket bag is going to be between the pants and, you know, not visible from inside the pants, because the whole idea here is that I want this to look nice. Okay, so see how I'm pressing a mess? All right, so this silk is very fussy, even though I starched it. So basically what I'm going to do here is, let's try to control it a little bit with pins on my cut and press board here. So see how I'm just pinning it in place. And then when I get over to here, this is going to turn up, and I'm going to press it this way like this. So actually I can, oops, let me just put my iron over here. All right, so this is going to be like this. So I'm just using pins in my cut and press board to hold everything for me while I'm getting ready to press it, because this silk is a pain in the butt to work with. But I will tell you, if you take your time, it's total. Oh, this is in the way. I'm sorry, I'm going to move this out of the way. If you take your time, this is totally worth it, because it will feel really, really nice. Oh, Diane uses my point perfect tool, and she loves it. I don't have any of those right now to sell, because the guy who made them for me made me mad, which is a long story and I really don't want to get into it. But anyway, I haven't found anybody else to make them for me yet, so I just stopped selling them. But I'm trying to work that out. All right, so see how I'm just getting it in shape, meaning I'm just pinning it to my cut and press board so I can get the layers of the pocket to lay nice like this. And again, I'm showing the turn of cloth for the piece that's going to be against my skin so I can see it. So I think you can see what I'm doing here. This is working out better to like just pin it first before I try to press it. So see how I'm lining up, see how you can see the little turn of cloth right there? That way when I press it, it'll look nice on the right side. So let me see if I can just get it all pinned down nice and flat. I think I might have wonkied it over here a little bit. Let me just put a few more pins in here. Oh, I hope I didn't traumatize it. All right, so this needs to match here. And then this needs to all lay nice and flat. Let's see if I can get this to flatten up. All right, so let me just... Oh my goodness, I think I stretched the silk when I sewed it. Oh, Sylvia's asking me if I changed the blade on my rotary cutter since I shared those lower cost replacement blades. So actually, Sylvia, that's funny that you asked me that, because I featured the Sew Tights magnetic cutting mat during Cool Tools on Monday, because they're having a sale. If anybody would like to get the magnetic cutting mat from So Tights, if you've been thinking about that, right now, and actually today is the last day. So if you're watching me live and you wanted to get the So Tights, and you've been thinking about getting the So Tights cutting mat, they're giving away free with purchase of the cutting mat. They're giving away a free sew in store. So that little easel that I keep all my magnets on, they're throwing that in for free. And there actually is a link in the description below if you'd like to get that, because my affiliate link gives you 15% off. So during Cool Tools, I actually showed how to change the rotary cutter blade. So this blade is the new blade as of Monday, but I used the first one of these for 3 months, almost to the day. So these blades are really nice. And there is a link to these blades in the Cool Tool video description from a couple, from a few days ago. So very nice. These are $16 and something cents for 15 of these blades. They're very sharp. Mine lasted 3 months. So if you're interested in doing that, then, go check out my Cool Tools and look at it. Or I did put the link to So Tights in the description below this video. All right, so here is what it should look like now. So you can see, I think that lays relatively flat for silk. I think I might have traumatized it a little bit here, but notice what we're doing. Whoops, let me just move me out of the way. I'm gonna move myself over here because I want to show you this part here. So see how this is turned up, so it's on the side that you can see this. And then this is all clean, finished, and sewn. And actually now I can just sew it at 1/4 inch if I want to here to hold, just to finish that if I want to. So that's going to be the next step. And then I'm going to sew it onto the front pocket opening. So that's the next step after that. So let me put all my pins away. And I'm going to move this out of the way. Let me get my machine up here. I'll just finish with this one pocket so you can see the total. You can see the entire steps here. So now I'm going to start sewing right here, and I'm just going to put one pin right here to keep everything laying nice and flat. And I'm basically going to sew like a generous 1/4 inch away, and that's going to encase all those little seam allowances. I'm just going to sew this. Okay, so we're carefully going to just sew along here. Oops. If you use like pocketing material, like a cotton voile or something that isn't slippery, this technique is much, much easier. This silk does give me a little bit of a fit, but I think I'll be happy. Now when I get to this end, I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to make sure I'm sewing, closer to 1/8 of an inch away, because I want to catch that piece that I turned over. There. So let's look at it now. So see how I sewed this down here, right? And that's going to get encased between the pant and the inside of the pocket facing. The last step is we just want to sew this here to hold that in place. And I'm just going to put a few pins to keep it from sliding around. And now that it's all sewn, I probably could press it flat, but basically now I'm just going to top stitch. This is the inside edge of the pocket bag. So I'm just going to sew this shut so I don't have a hole in my, in my pocket bag. Like this. All right, so now let me get my pressing thing and try to make this nice and flat. Victoria says the rotary cutter is the one I have a seam guide attachment. The hole that is in the black part where you open and close the blade is where I have the adjustable seam guide screwed in. We can't screwed in. No, I get you, Victoria. I'm gonna do that as a cool tool, so be ready. Victoria shared that she has a seam guide for her rotary cutter. I'm gonna find one and I'm gonna share that. It's coming in an upcoming cool tool. All right, and then Vicky is asking me why I picked silk to work with. Well, I picked silk to work with for this pants because the fabric that I'm sewing it onto is a cashmere linen cotton blend that's really nice, and I think I just wanted to make a luxury pocket bag that feels nice against my skin. And you can see, even though it's not perfect, because I'll tell you, out of everything I know how to do, I'm going to be completely honest with you, the sewing parts are not my favorite. Like I sew and I know how to sew, but really what I love to do is fitting, coming up with ways to sew, meaning coming up with different ways to construct things. But I'm really not a fan of the actual sewing. And I know that sounds weird, but I mean, I like to sew. I mean, I don't hate sewing. It's just my least favorite thing I do. I guess that's how I want to put it. Because by the time I make something, it's like I want to be making something else or designing something else. So you can see in the big scheme of things, it's not a cruddy pocket. It'll be fine. But this whole thing that you're looking at right now, this is what'll be against my skin. And if you can feel it, you would be like, oh, that feels so nice. So that's why I picked the silk too. I mean, silk charmeuse is a pain to work with, but it feels nice. All right, so now this is my completely constructed pocket. So I see Vicky understands now what's missing here. This is the fashion fabric facing. Oh, Leanne, I'm so happy that this helps you for constructing. All right, so there you go. This is the completed pocket. Oh, my mind does move faster than my hands and my machine. And to make matters worse, sometimes I change my mind midstream, and then sometimes that causes a problem for me because then I change what I'm doing, and then what I'm doing isn't working. And the perfect example of that was when I was working on my tuck dress. And first I was going to make the pattern, cut out the dress with the ease for the tucks. And then I'd have it all fitted after I tucked. After I cut it out, after I made the pattern, I decided to trace it onto the fabric, tuck the fabric, and then cut it out, but I used the same pattern with the ease. So I ended up with a giant disaster. So sometimes I do. I shoot myself in the foot sometimes because I don't think through what I'm doing, or I'll change my mind or whatever. All right, now this is important, ladies. Here's where we don't want to cause another tragedy, because we're looking at this. This is the right side of the left leg. How do I know it's the right side of the left leg? Because this is short. I've already cut off the extra fly shield that you don't need on the left leg. The left leg is little, so the fly piece is smaller than the right leg, which is here. Oh, and you know what? I already screwed it up. All right, so let me show you how I screwed it up. Okay, so we're looking at the right side of my pants, and now I can see that I cut off the wrong one. Well, I didn't cut off the wrong one. I fused the stay tape onto the wrong side because this was my left leg, but now it's going to be my right leg. Because this fabric does not have a right and wrong side, so when I applied my stay tape to the wrong side of the pockets, I put it on the right side of the fabric basically, but again, there is no right or wrong side. So now my fly is going to be going in the boy direction. But basically that really does not matter, just as long as I have a right and left. So you can see the right fly piece is longer because this folds back to be a fly shield like that. So we're going to determine which pocket bag we're working with here, because what we want to do is we want to put it right sides together with the front pocket opening. Where's the right side of this pocket, this piece? It's in here. This is the right side. Okay, so if you look at the instructions, I just want to bring those back in for a second. Oh, Mary wants to know if I could heat the tape off and take it off. I totally could, Mary, but if I do that, I will stretch out that front pocket opening, and then I'm going to have to steam it back into shape, and I don't want to risk traumatizing it and getting a gapping front slash pocket. So I'm just going to go with the zipper going in the opposite direction, because honestly, in ready to wear, they go in both directions now. So what I want to show you here is, oh, I'm sorry. So you're going to take, no, I'm sorry. This is, so if you read the instructions, you'll always know what to do, because I know my instructions are 100% right. So what it's telling me to do is, it's telling me to sew the constructed pocket bag to the front pocket opening, position the wrong side of the front pocket facing to the right side of the leg. Oh, Mary says I could put basting stitches. I totally could, but I'm not gonna, Mary. I am just going to have my zipper going the other way at this point, because honestly, I have pants that go in both directions in my closet already, so it'll just go along with, you know, how things are happening. So you're gonna take your pocket bag and you're gonna go like this. So here's the constructed pocket bag, right? You're gonna take this side and you're going to line it up like this with your front pocket opening like this. And I'm just going to stick some pins there to hold it in place. And then we're going to sew it on like this. I don't get too excited about which direction my fly is opening, to be honest with you. I mean, I could fix it, but I'm not. But Mary does have good ideas to fix it. If you make the same boo-boo I did with the stay tape, you can stay stitch, you can reheat the stay tape and take it off, and you can reapply it. Absolutely. All right, so I've pinned it there. Yeah, Mary's. Oh, Leanne says, I love how you just run with it. And Mary says, no one looks at how you zip open anyway. That's true. But I think the fashion industry has done a really good job of blurring the right way to do it anyway. So see how this is pinned on? Okay, all of this is here. All I'm catching is the opening, just the front pocket opening. All right, so I'm gonna move this leg out of the way again. I'm gonna get my machine back up here, and we're gonna sew this. All right. Now, because I've already edge stitched the bottom of the front pocket bag, I'm going to start at the bottom here so I can get myself, I'm going to start stitching right at the seam of my top stitching. And I'm basically going to Now here I want it to be about 3/8 of an inch, so not a quarter, so about 3/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to stitch this right on. I think having the fabric, the pants against the feed dogs will help make sure it doesn't stretch too. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is look. See, I stitched through like right on my stay tape, which I like that. So that's good. And then what is the next step? We want to understitch. Understitching really helps the pocket bag to stay on the inside. So I'm going to pull it away a little bit as I stitch. So notice I'm pulling it away like this. And I'm just going to stitch about 1/8 of an inch away. All right, now this is where the proof is in the pudding here. Let's see how it looks. Oh, Vicky likes the jean fly directions anyway. I'm a fan of the jean front fly. The reason why I like this, fly. Oh yeah. All right, I'm not doing the zipper in this, not sewing the zipper in this episode, but I will show you next week why the benefits of the cut-on fly. It's very low profile, and it's also very low bulk. That's why I like the cut-on for trousers. Okay, but I do love a good, jean fly. I do really like a good jean fly. All right, so now I'm going to, what did I do here? Why isn't that laying flat? All right, so let me just get this, my little thing here. I am so excited to wear these pants. Now I'm just pressing this edge, and you'll see that it really is easy to press because the understitching makes it go the way it wants it to go. So right now I'm just pressing the edge like that, and then I'm gonna get the, let's turn it this way, get the whole pocket to lay. I think I might have to clip. Get the whole pocket to lay flat. Hold on one second. Like this. Let me just press out the little crease I just made. And then I'm going to get all this to lay nice and flat. Flat like that. Okay. Oops. All right, so I think this is a really lovely inside look. And again, even though I didn't do like the perfect job, I am pretty pleased with the way this looks in here. And it's going to feel really, really nice. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to clip all the layers together here. So this is going to be right here. And then let me just put another clip right here. I want to turn it around to show you. All right, so now if I turn it around, I can see that I have a really nice flat. That looks like that's going to be really nice and flat. And now that it's pressed, I can top stitch here, but I just wanted to make sure, you know, everything was laying nice before I you know, did a little edge stitch here. But you can see that that's going to be a really nice pocket. Let's see. Ta-da! Let me make it a little brighter so you can see inside. So see? So that's going to be a really nice flat slash pocket. It's not, I don't think it's going to gape away from me. I'm very excited about that. So I think I made my goal of making a flat front slash pocket perfection. So I'm going to start here. And I'm just going to stitch really close, like 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to make my stitch length like 3 for this. Oh, now Leanne is excited to make pockets. Well, I'm excited that you're excited to make pockets. All right, let me just do my little edge stitching here. Actually, you know what? If you wait to top stitch the little part of the pocket bag until after you top stitch this, I think that could work better, now that I'm thinking about it. I think I didn't follow my instructions somewhere along the line. Let me look to make sure. All right, now let me give this a press. And hopefully it's still going to lay nice and flat. Oops. Let me get it so you can see what I'm doing here. Because remember, this right here, that's going to be caught in the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I didn't top stitch all the way down to the edge because that's going to get in. This is all seam allowance anyway. All right. So I'm pretty pleased with this. And I think, again, I think it's going to lay nice and flat. So that's how you do the front pocket on the Sorcha Classic Slim Trousers. And I'm super excited to have these, oh my goodness, these silk and cashmere pants. I cannot wait. They're kind of loose fitting, but they're not as loose as the red ones that I have. And that's one of the nice things I like about, you know, making your own clothes. You can, you know, change up the style, change up the fit, all that jazz. But I think you can see here, that's going to be a nice non-gaping pocket. All right, so that is the front pocket on my silk and cashmere fabric. I wish you could feel how nice this fabric is, but I can tell you, if Metro Textiles is having a sale, definitely get on their mailing list, email list, because you can get this fabric for 60% off, and you'll probably pay less for it than I did because I bought it in his shop, and I think I got it not on sale. But definitely check out Metro Textiles in New York City there. All right, so yay! I am going to continue to sew these because I'm going to have to spend the rest of the day in my room working because I am making flags for the Middlesex Health Hospice Golf Tournament. And so underneath in this spot, the sponsors are going. And actually, J Stern Designs will be a sponsor. And I have 18 flags for 18 holes to embroider this weekend with the sponsor name so I can get those off my list. And that's what I'll be doing for the rest of today. While I'm embroidering, I will be sewing my pants. So I'm kind of excited about having a fun sewing day with myself here for the rest of the day. So I'm really happy you guys joined me. If you have any questions about, sewing the pockets or the zipper on the Sorcha Classic Slim trousers, please, let me know. I'll help you. But I do have tutorials in the lives already showing how to do these things backwards when I first, launched the pattern. Also, there's a tour of the pattern I did as a live, which was fun. So definitely check those out if you are working with this pattern. If anybody wants to join me for in-person pants fitting, like I said, there are a few spaces left. Technically, I have a small class right now, but 2 of the people who were going to come in October came in August, so I technically had 6. So I'm going to have it no matter, have a smaller class size will be fine. But if you'd like to join me for that, wonderful. And then again, if you sign up for one of my Zoom classes, either the Efficient Workflow for Bodice Fitting or the Yoga Pants class, you get an instant download coupon code to get 25% off for patterns and workbooks in my shop. So that's all the fun. Plus I have 2 classes on pattern review that are in the newsletter as well. So that's what I have for August. And then in September, I will do a newsletter. And September's newsletter is going to take us all the way through to December, because I think October I'm going to be too busy to do a newsletter. I have a lot of things that month. But in the September newsletter, I'm going to have a holiday gift idea for babies. I'm working on a little baby project. And actually, I'm working on it for my social media manager, and then I thought it's really fun, so I'm going to make it into a pattern to offer for everybody. But anyway, so in the September newsletter, I will have a fun baby holiday gift idea for you that's more of an instant gratification kind of a project, not a hard project. So I'm excited about that. I'm working on that in the background as well. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I had a lot of fun sewing this pocket. I'm going to fight with the other silk charmeuse pocket bag when I get off, finish that up. And then I'm going to sew my zipper, and I'm really excited to try these on again after I get the front closure and the legs sewn together. So I'll post pictures of how it's looking in both my Discord and my Facebook group so you can see how it's going. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Labor Day weekend. We have an extra day of non-working for anyone who has that day off, so maybe you can find more time to do some sewing. That would be fun. So thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye.